Hello, hello, hello. There's a new full moon club. That's what I did there. And that means we're reviewing Peter Gabriel songs one at a time. Now, there's been some developments since the last review. Remember Panopticon? Because not only did we get the alternate mix, the light side, you've got the dark side and the light side. Yeah. We also had there's a surround sound mix as well. True, which you can listen to on Apple Music and whatnot. And there was also like a live tracking mix as well. So you've had three versions, 4 if you include the Atmos surroundy sound one of the same song. I didn't talk about those. I quite like the light side mix, which was done by Chad Blake. Was it the dark side mix? Oh no, he's doing dark side, and Ellen's doing the bright side. Bright side. Always look on the bright side. Oh, that's a completely different song, isn't it? It's all too complicated. Why can't people just release albums like they used to? But anyway, this brings us on to what I'm supposed to be talking about, because I've gone off massive. I've just gone off on a tangent massively. We're talking about another song, The Court. Look how I balanced that with artwork by Tim Shaw called The Burning of the Lifting of the Curse, which there was a curse. Yeah, there was a real curse, and he burnt like a wicker man to lift the curse. It's another song, hooray! Featuring Manu Katché on drums, percussion Brian Eno, Katie May, bass Tony Levin of course, guitar David Rhodes, piano Peter Gabriel, synths Peter Gabriel and Brian Eno, backing vocals Melanie Gabriel, David Rhodes, Peter Gabriel, and of course main vocal by Mr. Gabriel himself. Then there's an orchestral arrangement by John Metcalfe, and I'm not going to name everyone who plays on that because I'll be here all day. That's it. I'm reviewing it. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think of it. It's very busy. Very busy. It's got an irritating string section that really irritates me, and also that snare, that Manu Katché snare, is a similar snare sound that he used on Panopticon, and frankly, it's rather grating. I thought the production on this wasn't that good. It sounded a little bit boxy. It didn't sound like it was recorded at Real Welsh Studios. It didn't have that vibe. And I've listened to it on a number of outputs and a number of headphones, and it still seems a little bit cardboardy to me. But that's just my opinion. Your opinion may differ. Yours might be the right opinion. Mine might be the wrong one. Yeah, it's very busy, and it's got a lot of kind of scattering kind of percussion on it, which again in the initial opening I thought was, this is interesting. He's kind of gone back to the 80s, because it has a very 80s feel to it in terms of, like I say, this use of, would it be loops now? In the old days it was actual percussion, but yeah, he's got this percussion loop, and it felt like that bed track did feel a little bit, we're going back to the 80s again, which I don't know if that's good or bad. And yeah, there's a chorus. The chorus. Sorry, I've got to pull up the lyrics because it's better to have them in front of me. There's a chorus that goes, "And the court will rise while the pillars all fall," and that keeps coming in. That comes in a lot. You go verse, chorus, and there's like more. Because it's quite a big chorus. I'm talking about this is more of an arrangement issue. I think there should be a couple of verses, then a chorus. But some of the verses are longer. Like the average verse is like 4 lines long. But then one verse is 8 lines long. It's 2 verses, and so you've got this kind of lopsided feel to it, which, I don't know, it just irritated me. It was lopsided. As an arrangement thing, I didn't enjoy it. And it was very busy, because then you got all these strings coming in, which I don't really care for strings unless it's classical. We did all that before, and yeah, I mean it's all right. It's all right. I don't love it. It's sticky. The main chorus is sticky. I like the chorus, but it feels a little bit undercooked because it's just 2 lines, and it needs to be a little bit more, I don't know, anthemic. But I'm being critical. But that's why you're here. That's why you're watching this. You want me to be critical. What's it about? Well, it's about the court. No, not that court. Not that court by that band that we're not allowed to mention. The one with the screaming face. Not that court. This is about the court. Now, I watched Gabriel's video explaining it, because that makes my job a whole lot easier if I've got Gabriel explaining to me what the song's about. And he seems to think it's about the law. But it's contradictory, because it says, and the court will rise while the pillars all fall. Now, the thing is he's talking about the pillars of society, I would imagine. Not the pillars of, an ostentatious house. Have you seen those big houses that have like the kind of Grecian pillars? In like the porch. It's like, have you ever seen that? I don't like them. But we're not talking about that. So now I guess he could be going on about laws, the law overextending itself. Could be. But you've got a lot of imagery in the song. I'm doing lyrical. We're going to do lyrical analysis. Is that all right? I'm going to analyse the lyrics. You're all right with that? Good. You put your hand up. You make your bid. You're obviously at an auction. You've got your pictures laid out on the grid. Or you collect pictures. Not good pictures. Again, this person is unseemly, because the next line, look in the garden, in the surfaced ground, buried everything that you never want found. Again, someone with something to hide. The pictures, I think he's alluding to inappropriate pictures, And we go on about healer, the birthday cake, the real thing, the fake, the ladder, the snake, and he's putting images, images that are, often sit well together, like snakes and ladders. Yeah, but snake can also allude to, someone who's dishonest. We'll go back to the Garden of Eden. We'll do some, Bible studies. The tree of knowledge. It can allude to that. And how his body begins to wake. So he's waking up. He's realising that something's going on. And we've got this again. He's got this idea of the court will rise while the pillars all fall. But don't we need the court? Don't we need? Now, I know Gabriel isn't alluding to this because he said so, but I would like to spin it out further. I'd like to be clever. I'd like to think it's the court of public opinion. I'd like to think we're talking about social media and being judged by our peers, and those indiscretions and those misdemeanours that we do and we're judged online. And that is bringing down the pillars of society. It's deep. I know it's deep, and I know it's not what Gabriel meant, but that's what I'd like to take from it, because it feels a bit better. Because, yeah, we know courts are there, and we know sometimes courts make a mistake, but he's quite heavy-handed in this lyric, I believe. You've got the money going up your nose. I wonder what that alludes to. Is it drugs? You've got the data. Don't control where it goes. Oh, God. Granddad's learnt about the internet, but you've left it getting down to the bone. Boner? Could be. You've all your memories on your mobile phone. See, look at that. Add it as a prop there. Again, it's the reliance on data. This kind of turned on, hyper awake society. And the court will rise while the pillars will fall. Again, I'd like to think it's the court of public opinion. Out of this sentence, the ball and the claw. Again, the ball, wrecking ball, and the claw. We're talking about destruction now. He's actually talking about destruction. And all these pronouncements, I can make up the voice of the law. Again, so it's not really the law, we're making it up. Or does it make up all the pronouncements make up the voice of the law? Again, it's a bit ambiguous. Is he making it up, i.e. it's not real? Or does all these, pronouncements constitute the law? Again, it's an ambiguity there. Out in the market, because everything's a marketplace now, our lives are on sale. And the balls, which balls, Peter, are drifting further apart? It's your age, mate. You want to wear briefs. Don't wear boxers, because your balls will drift apart. Recovery cannot fail. That's, again, data recovery. Is it to do with your pictures and all your dark secrets on your mobile phone? Or is it talking about the recovery of society, and maybe we've gone too far over the edge? Gives you a lot to think about, doesn't it? There's a lot to think about here. Got the things you need, and they're all in place. We're talking about, that capitalist society. The precious things that make us us. All this shit on the shelves. Got the big shot barrister to keep my case. Again, if you've got money, you can afford the best. And this is where you go, the next lyric, got my baby throwing up on a chocolate milk. And he only did that because it rhymes with the black cat judge reaches for his silk. And again, black cat, he should have changed the lyric to black cap, because you put the silk, black silk, put it on your head, death sentence. But that's the worst lyric there. Got my baby thrown up on a chocolate milk. It should be on chocolate milk. It doesn't scan. I don't like it. Again, then we have another chorus. Again, this chorus is just jammed in. It's just really uneven. I hate it. We lost the line between the good and the bad. No, we haven't. We lost the line between the sane and the mad. If you're talking about social media, absolutely. Because we live in a time where, well, whatever you are, you are. My reality is now your reality, whether you like it or not. But there is no shared reality. Reality is what you declare it. Used to draw the line across the writing pad, a line of conscience that we never had. Again, that kind of contradicts itself, because he's saying we've lost the line between the sane and the mad, the good and the bad. And the line, so is he creating a line of conscience? Because we would have had conscience, but we'd have lost it. It's contradictory. It doesn't. Again, some of these, it just say it rhymes, isn't it? Even he admits it. And then we have a chorus again. The court will rise and the pillars all fall. And then we have an outro, extended outro. It's quite nice because his daughter's voice is part of it. It's quite delicate to it. So many are reaching for it. You know that justice is blind. So many reaching for it. You know justice is blind. So yeah, I mean, justice should be blind. That's the whole point. If you go to the law courts and you look at the figure on the top with the sword and the scales, her eyes are covered, because that's to give the indication that there's no bias. That you're not being prejudiced. You don't see. That's why juries have to be unprejudiced. They can't know anything about the case. They can't do any research on the case. It needs to be blind, and that's a good thing. But yeah, it's an uneven, wobbly. Again, I feel a little bit. I like it less than Panopticon's grown on me slightly. Because I guess it comes from a good place. But this one, again, I don't. Because this is somebody who's going on. Is he saying that justice is corrupt? Because he's not. He's saying that we need it. Has it gone too far? I don't know. Again, it's not solid enough an idea. It's a bit nebulous. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe justice is nebulous. And of course, tastes change, times change, culture changes, laws change. I don't know. But I'm not enamoured with it. I look forward to I guess it'd be the Bright Side mix that's coming by, what's his name, Spike Stent. I'm looking forward to seeing that. This was the Chad Blake mix this time. We got that one first because he said, oh, that's another thing. We got these two mixes, the bright side and the dark side, and it's different producers, and so you're going to get alternate versions. Alright? I didn't mind the Chad Blake one last time because he concentrates on binaural even. I nearly said binaural. You should write this stuff down. People hate when you don't script stuff, Darren. They get all uppity and annoyed. Yeah, he does binaural production. That's his specialist subject, so, and I find his production quite interesting. But yeah, again, I think there's a good idea in here, and I think with a little bit of editing, this could be a good song. But it just feels, one, overlong, two, too many choruses, and that chorus I think needs to be bigger. I think it's understated. I think it needs to be, and yeah, some judicial, like what I did there, judicial. That's a nice word. Editing. You need Daniel Lanois. Get him on the plane. Call him over. Let him have a play with it. But yeah, I can see where Gabriel's mind is going. He wants to be in there now. He's looking at what's happening. But I think he needs to crystallise his ideas slightly better. And this is I know everyone's gonna hate me for saying that. But look, it's just my opinion. You don't have to share it. You can disagree, you can agree. We all have our opinions and they're equally valid, but mine's better than yours. Remember that. Because I know what I'm talking about. You got to say that for comedy effect. Come on, I've got to do that just to get a reaction, because life's so boring otherwise. But I've witted on for far too long, and there'll be people in the comments going, oh, I'll never get that time back. You'd have only spent it wanking to porn on the internet, so it's best I distract you. So yeah, that was the second single release from Peter Gabriel via his Bandcamp page, called The Court Dark Side Mix by Chad Blake. We'll get a bright side later on in the month. Give it a couple of weeks, we'll get another one, and I'm sure we'll get a live tracking mix as well, and the Atmos, just to keep you on your toes. So yeah, what do you think? No, what do you really think? It's interesting that there's this kind of 80s feel to it. I thought that was interesting. I don't care much for the strings. I think strings should be used sparingly. I think they use too much, and it's very busy. It's very busy. But then I think that's what he does. He tends to push more on rather than it being. Again, if you listen to some of his other stuff, it's more sparse. There's more room for his vocals to breathe. But yeah, I've witted on. I'm sorry for going on. I've been talking about The Court there, and that's that. Thank you for watching. There's only one more thing left to say, because I guess this is a prog review, and that's PROG on.